camp. Kids are playing basketball and enjoying their break from school. But the topics talked about off the court may surprise you.
We're learning about youth violence, sexual abuse, drugs, tobacco, marijuana.
Today I learned that when you get pregnant at an early age, you risk your life set out. Like if you wanted to be a doctor, you risk that. And you risk your life, the baby's life. You risk getting HIV or AIDS.
Some of the types of bullying are emotional bullying, verbal and physical. If somebody bullies you and you get angry, instead of fighting back at them, you could just walk away and count to 10.
Bullying, drug use, sexual abuse, and teenage pregnancy are pretty heavy topics for 10-year-olds. So are they too young to hear such words of wisdom?
Fearless Extreme is meant to do sessions on the various issues that affect young people. And one of the reasons why we decided to do preteens this year is because they're affected from as early as primary school age. What I've realized, because I've worked in residential, I've worked as a youth worker at church, and I see how difficult it is to rehabilitate children, how difficult it is to get them back on track once they've gotten involved in drugs, once they're involved sexually. And a lot of our young people are involved sexually from a very early age. So we thought that it would be a good thing before they approach the teen years to go through how they can prevent themselves from getting involved in these different issues.
When you hear the level of discussion that came from them, you realize that they were ready for the information. They are aware of a lot of these things. Talking to young people at an early age, at an appropriate age, and I think these young people were at the appropriate age to learn about the importance of abstinence, to understand how important it is to finish their education, how important it is for them to be involved in positive activities that will help them to become better individuals. I said to them, we are preparing you for taking over all the jobs that are available because we will be gone after. We just have to make sure that you are ready. And so empowering them, encouraging them, directing them and giving them worthwhile information will help them to make positive choices.
There's a lot of key agencies that have partnered with us to do this camp. Family Support Unit has partnered with us to do the bullying, youth violence, because they work with families and children that are abused and are experiencing violence within their homes and in their communities. There is a Cayman Against Substance Abuse that is doing the drug prevention for the younger age, and then there's a National Drug Council that is doing the older age.
Once they were armed with information, they found out how to spread their message.
Sometimes we do drama on what we've learned. Yesterday we went on a field trip. I learned about which buttons they use for the to use the cameras and stuff like that. And I learned that you guys have your own show, and I learned where the ministers sit. Some of the kids, they got to sit where the ministers sit, and we got to ask them questions.
I decided to come to Fearless Extreme because I thought about it and I wanted to learn different stuff and have fun at the same time.
Because it's a camp, it's summer, so we had to integrate fun into the activities as well. And the young people themselves who are athletes, they are in charge of games and activities. That aspect of it, I think they take on to more, because the other ones, they have to sit down and listen to more or less, and they're quite interactive in those sessions, but this breaks the ice a little bit and make them feel as if they're really in a camp and really having fun. I think if it was just the lectures, they wouldn't come back, but I think they're having enough fun so that they would actually come back.
When this group graduates from the program, they can come back next year, perhaps fulfilling a different role.
Last year was my first year at the Fearless Camp, and I enjoyed it. It was really different. She called me this year and she asked me if I could be staff. So I said, I volunteered, and I said yes. For me, I could teach them about respect, and I'm involved in music, so I could teach them about music.
One of the things that we need to do, we need to motivate our young people to be able to deal with these issues, and we need to give them roles where they feel as if they're important, feel that that is their responsibility to deal with these issues. The challenge is that some of these young people are already involved and already exposed to some of these issues, so it's quite difficult to work with them once they're already exposed. But it's necessary, and I think that it's still possible for them to be rehabilitated. It's just more difficult but it's the experiential side of leadership.
Learning doesn't end when the camp is over. The goal is to take the information you learn here and apply it at home and at school.